Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Kirk Morris here with another episode of the Pal Down Podcast, episode 8. I wanted to talk about a couple of things here. It's just going to be a quick little show here today. First off, I wanted to talk about not the absence of me here, not doing very many shows. Just, I don't know if it's imposter syndrome or what, but I'm going to try to do my best here moving forward. When you got writer's block here too, it doesn't really help. Trying to get back my mojo here. So I decided to hop on and perfect segue here. I wanted to talk about my cohort here at the Heavy Hockey Network, Mr. Josh Boulton. He basically wrote an article here about Ken Holland, about him staying true, staying to the course, being extremely patient for the Edmonton Oilers. And about 4 to 6 weeks ago, I think pretty much everybody, including myself, yours truly, was getting frustrated in the way the team was playing, and the direction of the team was going. And there's very few people that are this patient as far as fans go. Josh was one of them. He was very, very, I wouldn't say he was frustrated by no means. And that's totally cool. That's totally cool to as a fan, and the Edmonton Oilers are very passionate fans as a whole. Everybody's very opinionated, especially when it comes to Twitter. But when you have a general manager and a president of hockey operations that doesn't listen to outside noise, doesn't break under pressure, like Ken Holland could have went full Shirelli and he could have been, making knee-jerk trades over and over and over. You take a look at the trade that he made there right at the start of the season there for Klim Kostin, and then the Blues in the exchange got Dmitry Samorukov. Both players needed to change the scenery, and you could see the results. And Kostin was on a heater. I think he's going to cool off personally, and people are, there's some people especially in the analytics community that could say, don't sign him just yet. You don't want to go the Cassian route. And I remember just as clear as day when he first got hired on to replace Shirelli as general manager and president of hockey operations. He said, clear as day, he said, I'm going to make mistakes while I'm here. I'm not going to be squeaky clean. One of them happened to be Dave Tippett, but the change had to happen. The Cassian contract as well. Zach Cassian had an outlier year in his first year as general manager, in behind the position, and he had to clean up that mistake. He cleaned it up this last summer, and thankfully it only took a couple of draft picks. Still, it's commodity, right? It's cash currency to have draft picks, especially like this year coming up. And I think I don't know. You could say that he's going to be very patient going towards the trade deadline. And then there's people that bring up the Nurse contract too. He's not perfect. Was it a mistake not signing him earlier? Yeah, it was. But you can thank Seth Jones and Zach Werenski for bumping up his price. And he had to get him signed here last summer. He had no choice. He didn't want to walk him to UFA status and then lose him for free, like what happened there in Calgary with Gaudreau and Tkachuk. Everybody's praising Brad Treliving all of a sudden, or what he reclaimed, at least with Tkachuk. But you take a look at that team now. I think half the players don't have tuned out Sutter already. You take a look at Jacob Markstrom. I think he got broken there. I think the Edmonton Oilers broke him there last playoffs, last season. You know, and same thing with what happening here in Edmonton. Stuart Skinner walked in, kind of saved our season pretty much. Well, Jack Campbell was sorting himself out. Getting new gear, testing out all kinds of different stuff. Just getting sorted. And I guess you could say the same thing in Calgary with Vladar. Like he's basically saved their season so far. So everybody's going to make mistakes. Everybody's going to make mistakes. And you know what? Coming up to the trade deadline, he might make another mistake again. With Holland there, like you never know. He does not go big game hunting. You see that even with the local media there with Ryan and Shock. Oh, this is the season. They should all go in. Well, what happens if they don't, if they fall flat on their face again? If anything, I think Holland's just going to add depth pieces. He's not going to, push the chips all into the middle right off the hop there after the trade deadline's all, the dust is settled there. I don't think it's going to happen. He's always been extremely patient, especially when it comes to his prospects there too. So it's funny. The other thing I was going to talk about there with the Edmonton Oilers, nobody's complaining about the goaltending coach because everything's squeaky clean now. Jack Campbell's basically won 7 in a row there. He's reasserted himself. There's a 1A or 1B if you want to put the label on him, And moving forward, both him and Skinner have to share it 50-50 at least, if not 60-40 Campbell Skinner, because it's Skinner's first season in the AHL, and plus playoffs. It's going to be a grind, man. They're going to have to grind it out. And speaking of which, there was Stuart Skinner. Congratulations on him making the All-Star the All-Star team. I didn't check out the skills competition, by the way, just as a side note. Or, pardon me, very little of the skills competition. Same thing with the All-Star game. It's very cringeworthy. But anyways, yeah, pretty much. I missed the days of the actual All-Star game just being the Clarence Campbell team and the Prince of Wales team, 5-on-5. None of this 3-on-3 or. I know they tried to revamp it there with all the different. Allocations there, but they should just go back. You take a look at the All-Star skills competition, look at the AHL. It's very straightforward. I checked out some footage there this evening, about the AHL, their AHL skills competition. And I didn't mind it. It looked like it's an actual skills competition. And I know it's for the kids. So, but anyways, yeah, it's the last thing I want to talk about here, the situation in Vancouver. Oh boy. What a mess. You want to talk about bad management. This last summer, they had the opportunity to sign Bo Horvat to make him a Canuck for life. They signed the wrong person, and nobody's really privy to conversations there with management. But you gotta wonder what the heck Jim Rutherford was thinking, and Patrick Alvin, and all the assistant general management, like signing JT Miller to that monster contract, and then not having enough space to sign your captain, your actual leader of the team. And then you traded him for a bag of magic beans, pretty much. 3 first-rounders, as Patrick Alvine said there to the media right after the trade was done. Like, really? It's a pretty shallow return, especially on the, if you're going to trade for warm bodies, you had a decent return, but I would have asked for a little bit better return on the draft picks as well. I would have had multiple draft picks, but it's Lou Amarillo you're dealing with there. He doesn't want to trade nothing for nothing. He's very stingy. And then the Islanders re-sign Horvat to an 8-year extension. And Lamarillo's bitching about the AAV, the money, and the length of the contract. Well, are your hands tied, Lou? You could have turned around. You could have swapped them there for more spare parts there for your team. But yeah. Lamarillo has always been a tough nut to crack. I swear he has mob connections there if anybody did him wrong in a trade. But anyways, I digress. Yeah, I just don't get the actual scenario there in Vancouver. You want to talk about the way that they treated Bruce Boudreau. It's absolutely horrendous. And then you bring in a coach like Rick Tocchet. Woof. That's all I got to say is woof. Eesh. Yeah. And now they're going to... It goes back to what I said there before. There, my buddy Soups in Lloydminster there, Tyler Campbell, he ranted and raved about Montreal, about how the missed opportunity was to tear it all down, and it's happening again in Vancouver. If it was just me, I would have torn it. I'd keep Demko. I would keep Quinn Hughes if he wanted to stay, even though he's American. And I would keep Elias Pettersson. I would try to get rid of everybody else. But there is some untradeable contracts now with the JT Miller one, who is also American. And then you've got that monster contract there, that awful anchor there on your back end with Oliver Ekman-Larsson. They're just about out of the bad contracts there, but you can't blame the current management on that. That was all Jim Benning. So yeah, just terrible asset management. Yeah, but anyways, I digress. I want to talk in brief. Originally, I was going to talk about the top 10 goalie masks of all time designs, but I'm going to write about it instead because it's kind of hard to describe via a podcast where you've got actual visual sight lines there with the actual masks there. When you write something out there, you have pictures and whatnot, and then it'd be easier to see. So originally I was going to talk about the masks, but no, I'm just gonna leave that there, and I'm just gonna write about it. Hopefully sooner than later. And hopefully I'll have another guest here on the next one. Hopefully next Thursday or Friday, I hope. I'm going to talk to the head honcho here of the Heavy Hockey Network. We're going to have a charity game on March the 5th, I do believe. Hang on a sec here. I had to check. See. March the 4th, pardon me. Saturday, March the 4th. It's for a good cause. It's for SACE, Alberta. I think there's pretty much all signed up for the hockey game. I think there's only about 3 spots left, but you can contact Michael Hebert at Oilers Live on Twitter. Just hit him up there with a DM, say hey. Or you can get a hold of him, I would say, via the heavyhockey.com. Shout out the World Hockey Report there and Cody Jansen in the group. Go check them out. World Hockey RPT on Twitter. like I said, I hope to keep pumping more of these out here more frequently. So thanks again for checking this out. I appreciate each and every one of you taking the time out of your day to listen to this. It's going to be interesting here coming up to the trade deadline for sure, no doubt. What's going to happen here? We're down to less than a month when that's going to happen. It's going to be an interesting time here, especially with all you Edmonton Oilers fans out there. Actually, Pacific fans in general. And shout out to Josh Boulton once again there for that excellent article there on Ken Holland. I thought it was a great summarization. And yeah, really, really good stuff there. Check out everybody there check out all the articles there at heavyhockey.com. This is Kirk Morris. I'm going to let you be. Spin and Pal Down Podcast, episode 8. Like I said there before, I hope to have another one here very, very soon. Thanks again, everybody. I'll see you later.